Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Yoon, and today's video is a mid-year book freakout tag. That's what it's called, yeah. And anyways, it's been a long time. I figured this would also be like kind of way to like refresh me in a sense, just to see how my reading year's been going. I feel like this is a good way to also update you guys after being gone for, I want to say actually an entire month. I honestly can't even remember when my last video was, excluding the one about K-Tropathon, because I know I just did that one yesterday. But other than that, hopefully this is a good update, and just a good knowing of where I am in this year in terms of reading, and let's get to it. So the first prompt or tag is the best book I read so far this year, and I have 4. Surprising because I have more than one, but at the same time I kind of have different reasons for them, so I'm just gonna get into them right now. First, these are my favorites. The first one is the first book I read it's one of the first books I read this year, but I instantly loved it. I really thought this was one I had read last year, like in December, but I apparently finished it in January. So, and it is The Red Palace by June Hur, and this is definitely gonna end up still being one of my top 2023 favorites because it's just so good. This had some sort of like reader reset of sorts in me, not cultural, but like a reader reset in me, because the romance here just I still cannot get over the romance, and it's just so freaking amazing that I still fangirl every time I have the opportunity to think about it. Any opportunity I have to recommend this book, I do recommend it. And I even like was able to snag and even pay a little bit of extra money to get the fake crate dust jacket for The Red Palace, because first of all, the art is amazing. Second of all, I love the book. I love everything about it. So that was one of my favorites. And then another one was actually a more recent one, which is Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. And like, you guys, this book is just so amazing. I saw like several TikToks using this word that I think like encapsulates it really well in a way, which is consumable, I'm pretty sure. And I highly agree. This is a really easy and consumable book if you need something fast-paced, something that's easy to like digest and read, but that also gives you like a lot to think about, a lot to like analyze, and just really enjoy for the ride. It's just so good. And yeah, I personally think R.F. Kuang did a really good job with choosing the character and the way she portrayed this character through first point of view, which I thought also made the overall book really part of what made it so good to read. But yeah, highly recommend this one as well. And then the third one is actually my favorite romance this year, because Half a Soul is just so cute. It's just so cute because I love the characters separately, but I love how their characters also worked together for the relationship dynamic, and it just ended up being so freaking cute. Oh, and there is like some tense stuff here, but it's overall quite an easy plot to read. There is like a serious conflict, but it's not a stressful conflict, I think, if that makes sense. But I highly recommend this for a romance book. This is, what is it, comfort fantasy, and it's really short, it's really easy. I highly recommend it. And then the fourth book, I did debate whether I wanted to put it in here or not, but I figured I might as well for like one reason, which I'll get into, and it is Silver Under Nightfall by Reid Chupeco. I'm pretty sure I read this one. Yeah, and it's this one. Okay, so I don't think it's an amazingly well written book, but it's just so much fun. Okay, like, And also the world building is pretty solid. I personally was not a big fan of the science that was really focused on in this book, which makes sense if you read about it, but it was just so sciencey, and I'm like, I don't remember what I learned in science class, and I was never really good at it anyways. So reading all of that kind of bored me, or at least I just didn't understand what exactly was going on in terms of the science. But the action was really fun. I love the fact that our main character uses a scythe. Scythe. I personally am a sucker for characters who use the scythe, just because I love the scythe as a weapon. I don't know why, but it's like action packed. It's so fast paced for a 500-page book. I read this, I want to say, in 4 hours, okay, because it was just so engaging and so action packed, and it was like reading an action movie. Like, it was just really good in its descriptions of it. So I highly recommend it. And yeah, I'm excited for the sequel, but not the cover art, because I personally think the cover art is a little ugly compared to this one. So I am disappointed. So we'll see what I decide to do. But yeah, so these were the 4 best books that I read. And then the next thing was the best sequel. And I don't really, the best sequel I've read this year, and I don't really have one, mainly because a lot of the books I read were either the first books of a series and I never got to reading the second book, or the second book isn't out yet, or they were standalones. So yeah, so I actually don't have a sequel to really share with you guys. But if I had to pick one, I would actually pick the second volume of a manga series I started reading, which is called My Sister the Cat. And you guys, this is so freaking cute. I don't think you understand just how freaking cute this series is. Like, the cute aggression I get from this series is honestly no joke. I've never been so mad because something was so cute until this manga series, okay? Like, I really don't think you guys understand just, I love it, but it just fills me with a rage that, because it's just so freaking cute. I really do think I should not say much about it, just so you guys can be pleasantly taken by surprise. But if you can read this series, I think the official English title is called My Sister, the Cat. So please check it out if you can, because it's so cute. Let's get into the next tag, which is the new release I haven't read, but I want to. I have 3. One of them isn't here yet, but the other 2 I do have right here. The first one is Threads of Fate, because the entire concept of that book just sounds so intriguing, and I'm pretty confident it is Fairy Loot's July. I'm still counting it because it did just come out this month. I just don't have the Fairy Loot one, just isn't out technically, but I am very excited to read that one. And then for the other 2 I have right here, and the first one is YN, or Your Name, by Esther Yi. I am actually in the midst of reading it. I'm almost halfway through, but because I haven't finished it, I'm still counting it. And this one I'm very, very interested to read about. I have been having a really interesting time reading it, and yeah, I will let you guys know what I think about it. I might not have a lot of thoughts, but essentially, to give a quick summary that I realized I haven't given for the other books, our main character is actually really nameless in this book, and she eventually becomes really obsessed with a K-pop idol, and when that idol suddenly retires, she's inspired to go to Seoul to kind of track him down. And along the way of the book, she gets into writing YN fan fiction. And oh dear me, what was that? And yeah, and it's really interesting because she the writing is very interesting, and it's kind of weird in a way. Like, it's definitely gives off vibes of either pretentious. This story does present a very interesting introspection of the parasocial relationship that can develop between K-pop idols and their fans. And I think that is also kind of a way to insert our main character's, I guess, like exploration into trying to figure out who she is and stuff like that. What the heck? And trying to like find her sense of individuality within a community in which a lot of people are similar to her in their love for the idol. Some of the way she's writing is just kind of like off-putting, I guess. It does seem deliberate. But anyways, let's get to the next book, and that is Martha Wells' Witch King. I'm personally not like super into this book, I feel, as compared to like maybe other readers, but I am very intrigued by it. And it is one of the more like, it's one of the actual 2023 releases that I am not only aware about but that I have. So this is one because I saw one comment saying it's from the point of view of the villain technically, which if it's true, that'll be really interesting. I have heard good things about her Murderbot diaries, but I have heard other people say like not to expect what you get in Murderbot in here, because that was kind of why they were disappointed. But because I haven't read Murderbot, I feel like I'm good. But yeah, and it just sounds very interesting. I think one of the tropes that Illumicrate Crate mentioned really got me. I felt like I needed it, which was found family. And it is fantasy. Oh dear me. I think it's 500 pages or more. Oh, it's not 500 pages or more. Why are you so thick? Scratch that thought. But yeah, I'm interested to see if I like it and where it'll go. I will say the minute I opened this book, I immediately got discouraged and I put it back down because this dramatis personae page, like, it's just so overwhelming to look at, especially because the names are all like unique. They all have specific roles and there's just so many characters. I'm like, I can't keep track of that right now. That's just too many characters. So yeah, that did get me quite discouraged, a little too anxious and stressed, so I did stop reading it the minute I saw that. But let's keep going. So, and then the next one is most anticipated release for the second half of the year. I actually have two because I'm only really aware of two, and those two do seem really interesting. The first one is A Study in Drowning by Reid, and that one, because the US book cover is really pretty and it just seems like something I'm like kind of wanting to get into, which is like gothic dark academia. The setting and something was also really interesting, but I can't remember it. And also Guardians of Dawn, Zahra by S. Jae-Jones. That one is the one that I'm most excited for because first of all, the book cover is absolutely gorgeous. I love that watercolor style. And second, it's been pitched as Sailor Moon and meets Cinder, and I don't really care for the Cinder part because I read the series once. I never finished it. I don't think I was that into it, but the Sailor Moon part, I am so excited. Like, I freaking love the magical girl concept. Like, I will take any variation of the magical girl concept and I will just eat that up. I will admit I haven't read or watched as many magical girl concept like animes. I'm trying to watch, what is it? There's like, is it Precure? But like the one that has like 20 seasons, but like it's each different theme and set of magical girls. I'm wanting to get into that one. But like other ones like Sailor Moon, Cardcaptor Sakura, Madoka Magica, what Tokyo Mew Mew, like I just eat up the magical girl concept. Okay, I love that concept. So I am so freaking excited to have a book that has that concept and is pitched as Sailor Moon. You guys, I'm so freaking excited for that book. I don't think you understand. And my friend got the physical arc and I was so jealous. thankfully it's gonna be released in August, so I have like 2 months. Well, I technically have 1 month because I don't think I know when the official date is, but it's gonna come out in August. I gotta get through July for like more news. People speculate that that might be Olivia Craig's special edition, so I am very, very excited and I cannot wait. But yeah, so the next tag is the biggest disappointment. For me, my biggest, I have had disappointing reads, but in terms of what I want to kind of categorize as disappointment, I guess Once Upon a Broken Heart would be one of them, if only because I was looking for a lot but I didn't get as much as I would have liked. But I think a bigger disappointment for me was The Book Eaters, just because I was actually anticipating this book, and the overall concept and the theme and the genre and the plot just sounded so interesting, and I feel like it could have been really good, but I think it was disappointing in its execution, because I personally thought that there was just too many things that the author was trying to comment on, like social commentary stuff. If I had to just say this very simply, I would say interesting plot and stuff, but very disappointing execution. It was just the way the story progressed. Also, I just wasn't the biggest fan of, so I was pretty disappointed with this book. And for the next tag, it's our newest fictional crush. I have to say Jin from the Red Palace, because I have not yet read a male lead like him. Like, you guys don't understand. Okay, the thing that cemented him for me as like a top tier book boyfriend is because it was a very simple and maybe like minor detail for others, but for me it was huge. Okay, so they're eating and it's, what was it, kukbap, and there's like some pieces of meat in kukbap, but there's never really a lot. And she's eating, she like ate all the meat pieces, and without prompting, without warning, without saying anything, as he's talking, I think he just starts giving her his meat pieces, and I was like, he gave her his meat pieces. Oh my gosh. So yeah, and then him just throughout the book, honestly, the romance in this book is so freaking good. Please read it. This is a murder mystery though, so I feel like I should tell you guys that, just so you guys don't go in there surprised or betrayed because I'm just promoting the romance. Like, the mystery was good, but for me the romance is where it really, like, it just really got my attention. But yeah, Jin, love you. Anyways, the next thingy is newest favorite character. I think I would not pick a book character for this one. I think if I had to pick, it would actually be from a webtoon, because I just don't feel like I've latched onto a character to make them my favorite this year yet. But I will have to pick from Debut or Die, Park Moon-dae and Son Ah-hyun, because these two, I love their characters. I love them separately and I love them together. Like, their friendship is so cute. So Park Moon-dae is the main character, and his personality is so funny. And then Son Ah-hyun is not really support, like secondary character, I don't know, but he's so cute, and Moon-dae is just so funny. I die laughing at his description of something like the Tibetan fox or something, and it's just delivered so well in the webtoon. I love it. I keep forgetting to do this one. I like skipped that out. Anyways, going back to another prompt that I accidentally skipped, the biggest surprise, I think I would have to pick The Luminaries. And I think this is kind of because it was a book I didn't really go in with expectations, because I didn't really know what the book was about. I didn't know what to expect, because I didn't see a lot of people talking about it, like for things that popped up on my For You page or Instagram post. And so I went in not knowing a lot, not expecting much, I think, and it was actually just so much fun. Definitely not as fun as Silver and Nightfall, but it was very, very engaging, and it was just a good read, you know what I mean? I will say I did not like the ending, but overall, I think the author's writing is just really, was just so good, because it wasn't amazing, but it was just so good in like description and action and just pacing and keeping me engaged and invested in the story and the world building. Like I don't know what else to say. It was just like a surprisingly such a good read. I think I mentioned it in the video where I have a reading vlog about it, but essentially there's like 3 trials in this story, and the first trial happened immediately, and then the second trial actually ended up happening like 170 some pages later. But the author was just able to put in little moments of either characters, world building, or drama and like plot build up that just keeps me engaged until the second trial. And it actually took me a while to realize that I hadn't read the trial yet, but I was just invested in the stories of the characters and just the family relationships. So this was actually really surprising and a really fun read. I am excited for the sequel. I'm gonna have to look at that later. Anyways, so that was that for my biggest surprise. And then the next tag is book that made you cry, and I will have to admit I don't have one, mainly because I have kind of purposely avoided reading emotional books because I knew this semester would be busy. And I was like, I don't think I'm at the state or condition to be able to get emotionally invested and then emotionally devastated by a book at this time of year. So I purposely avoided the ones that I feel like would be emotional or would make me cry. So I don't have one yet. And then book that made you happy. Honestly, I feel like I don't have to, I've been consistently saying it, but the books that made me happy, I think I would have to pick Half a Soul and The Red Palace. I think one thing that just makes me happy is seeing characters that I like have a good ending, or just have somebody there for them, whether it's like platonic or romantic. And yeah, I don't know, the romances here and the character dynamics is just really what made me happy and really enjoy the book. And the next tag is most beautiful book you bought or received. I'm actually going to do a most beautiful book I bought and received. So for the one that I bought, it's going to be special edition, and it is Illuminate's February Song of Silver Flame at Night, because this book is absolutely gorgeous. Okay, you will find out exactly how, but it's so pretty. Okay, I thought My Daughter the Moon Goddess had the best braid edge. This is a very strong contender. Like, they give different vibes, but if I had to pick in terms of details, I think I would pick this one. So first we have simple block colors, but it's like, first of all, with the blurriness, look at that. I'm gonna do a close-up soon, but like, look at that detail. We have constellations in the back, we have shading and minor details on the animals. Like, look at that dragon. Like, can you see that? Like, oh my word. And the tiger, oh my gosh. And the way the flame around the turtles, and then the way the details on like his shell, and then the water ripple and how it like darkens into the bottom spread. Guys, this book, gorgeous for that edge alone, okay? But that's not even the end of it. Like, look at this. I like don't know how to fix the lighting. Let me, like, we have foil. Is it foil? It's shiny. We have the 4 animals seen on the edges, like, and it wraps around it. Like, come on. And we also have end paper artwork. It's the same end paper, but like, they truly spoiled us for this edition. is absolutely crazy. So yeah, I think this one is the prettiest book I bought this year. And then the prettiest book I received, the cover was already pretty, but this one is one I'm picking for received because it's an annotated copy of Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, and it's from one of my book friends from Instagram who came to Korea, and we hung out, and we exchanged annotated copies of each other, and she gave me this one, and I'm just so honored and touched to have it with me, and I can't wait to read it, even though I'm nervous about being emotional about it. And like, first we have like vintagey style tabs, and then we have this. And also, she is very good at journaling and stuff, and so she made me an aesthetic mood board of the book, and I am in love, and I cannot wait to read it. I can wait because I am nervous, but you know, I also would like to read it soon. And my battery is about to die, so we'll see how much more I can film. And for lastly, what books do I need to read before the end of the year? This one I kind of had too many to count, but I think Your Name, Witch King, I do want to read this one before the end of the year because the sequel is coming up, and the Barnes & Noble's exclusive edition does sound like it has nice features. So I want to read it to decide if I want the sequel. I do want the books for Fairy Loot that I'm still waiting on. And oh, If We Were Villains. Obviously, Guardians of Dawn, Zahra. I'm so excited for that one. Yeah, there's like way too many books that I need to read. I'm gonna read An Enchantment of Ravens and Gods of Jin's Shadow because those are being annotated exchanges with friends. But yeah, I think there's a little too many for me to say for this last one, but I've named a few. Just know that there is more. And oh, I did plan a literary goal to finish the Iliad by the end of the year. We'll see if I can stick to that. But I would say, yeah, that's probably the ones I'll mention for now while being nervous about my battery running out. So yeah, so that was it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it was a good reintroduction sense for me returning from my month-long hiatus. And tell me how your guys' reading year is going. Let me know some of your favorite books if you have any recommendations. And I will see you guys for K-Tropathon. I hope many of you join and enjoy it and join the bingo board giveaway. And I will see you guys next time. Bye!